Hi folks, in this video we're going to take a quick look at how to set up the eSign rental agreements feature in Uplisting that will allow you to automate the collection of rental agreements with your guests. We're going to take a look at three sections. The first is your guest booking confirmation page. Then we'll take a look at how we actually set up the feature in Uplisting itself. And then finally we'll take a look at how it appears from a host's point of view as well. Starting with how it all appears from a guest point of view, it all comes down to this page here, which we call the guest booking confirmation page. This is a page that Uplisting automatically creates for every booking that comes into your calendar, regardless of the channel that booking has come through. So if it's a direct booking, this page will be created. If it's an Airbnb booking, it will have its own summary page, etc. And in its most basic form, so in other words, if you're not using any of the Uplisting pre-arrival requirement features, this page will always have two components: a summary of the guest's stay and a contact information module where the guest can enter their contact information if we don't already have it. If you're using any of the pre-arrival requirement features, ID, verification, refundable security deposits, or rental agreements, this is where the modules for those features will appear. In this case, we're just going to focus on the rental agreement module. And so as you can see, the guest can read the entire rental agreement, and you can also set this up in a way so that it's personalized to each individual guest. So it'll have, each individual guest's name, along with, for example, check-in date, check-out date, and you can get very creative here if you want. It's a very flexible system, as we'll see in a second. But from a guest point of view, all they have to do is read this and simply sign, either on their computer or on their mobile with their finger. They just sign and submit signature. And then after a few seconds, it'll update to rental agreement has been signed. And if I refresh again, just takes a couple of seconds to process. They can actually view and download a copy of the agreement as well if they want. So when they click on this, they'll have a date stamped and a time stamped agreement that they've signed for their own record should they wish to have one. So from a guest point of view, it all happens on this page, and purposely it's a very uncluttered page to kind of keep the guests focus on any steps that they might need to complete. In terms of actually activating the feature, it's very straightforward. In your Uplisting account, you're going to want to navigate to Automate. And then you'll have a section for eSign rental agreements. And you'll see here, you can select which channels the rental agreement is applicable to. So right now I have it turned on for everyone, all of my channels, but you can pick and choose if you wish. And if we scroll down, we have our content box here as well. Now you can either type the content in here, or you can paste it from a document if you already have your rental agreement saved elsewhere. The thing I want to point out here is the different tags that you can use within this box. And this is what I was referring to on this page here. When the guest opens the agreement, right, it has their name on it. As long as you enter the tags for the guest name into the rental agreement box, we will display the lead guest's name on the booking. And the same idea for the check-in date, the check-out date. That'll all dynamically update depending on the booking itself. That's these tags here. So you can pick and choose, or use whichever of these tags is applicable for your rental agreement. And then with the other two types of tags we have here, so custom message tags, this comes in handy if you want to display specific content to guests from specific channels. So that feature allows you to display specific content only to Airbnb, for example, or only to booking.com. Likewise, custom property attribute tags allows you to insert dynamic content based on the property that the guest has booked. So for example, you could use this feature to set up completely separate rental agreements for specific properties if necessary. We do have a separate video that goes a little bit more in depth on the custom property attribute tags, including how to use them for multiple rental agreements, so make sure to take a look at that. But in any case, you're always going to have your tags or your content in this box, and this is then what's shown to the guest. So from a setup point of view, it's pretty straightforward, right? We just select which channels it is and make sure our content is in the box. The single most important thing then when it comes to using either this feature or any of the other pre-arrival requirements like ID or deposits is getting the link for this page to the guest. And that can be done through your automated messages in an automatic way. So you don't have to worry about doing this manually. You'll notice in your outbound section on the left-hand side, which is where you handle and configure all of your automated messages, you'll notice that there will be one for pre-arrival requirements, your confirmation or new booking message with pre-arrival requirements. And if we click edit, you'll see we have the exact same tags here as we have on the previous page for the rental agreements. And we have our content box for the message. So you'll see when you look at this on your account, template information in there that you can obviously update. But as I say, the most important thing to have in there, if you're using any of these features, is the guest booking link. So you might put in a message, something like this. So you might have a message that looks something like this. Obviously, you're in complete control of the content of your messages, so you can jazz this up however you want. But it's important to just get the link to the guest as soon as possible after they book. It's when they're most engaged with the booking process, and hopefully do it much quicker and reduce any possibility of having to chase them up for anything. You'll see in your messages this guest booking link, and that's the link that will then take the guest to the confirmation page where they can actually do the rental agreement along with any other pre-arrival requirement features that you have set up. Now that we've got the feature set up and we've got the link going out to the guests to complete the rental agreement going forward, I want to take a look at how you can keep track of these things in your Uplisting account as the host. If we come into our calendar tab, the booking I just did that rental agreement on there was this one. So if we click on this booking in the calendar, you'll see that the status has updated to the rental agreement has been signed, and you can also download and have a copy of that rental agreement if you need it. This will always be on your Uplisting account, so you'll always have a copy of the rental agreement that the guest signed and agreed to, should you need it. If it's a booking that hasn't yet completed the rental agreement, and we click on that booking in the calendar, it tells us that the rental agreement hasn't been completed yet. And you can set up in your automated messages again, reminders to go out to the guests if they haven't completed that step. Again, there's a separate video on automated messages, so definitely take a look at that. But you are able to automate reminders to the guest if there's any steps they haven't completed. I want to also show you how it works if a guest books directly on your website. So for example, on your direct booking website, that is. So this is one of my properties here on my direct site. And we'll just imagine we're booking it as a guest. And we'll instant book. It's going to ask for our details. And it's going to ask us to complete payment of the booking. The guest has to agree, read and agree to our terms and conditions. Important to note, this is separate from your rental agreement, right? Your rental agreement is sent out through your automated messages, which are sent out after the booking has been confirmed. So your terms and conditions are separate, set up separately within your Uplisting account, but might include a lot of the same content because it's anything you want the guest to know before they book. But the guest then confirms the booking. And it'll just take a second to process. And so you'll see now we're back on the guest booking page. So in other words, if a guest is booking directly through your direct booking site, they'll go through the booking process, and once they've completed the payment and confirmation's gone through, they will land directly on the page where they have to complete each of the features that you have set up. They'll still get the automated messages, of course, to confirm the booking, and of course come back to this page if they need it as well. But if they're booking directly, they will land directly on this page, and very often will complete the steps as well. So that's the eSign rental agreement feature. It's very easy to set up, very flexible to cover all the various situations that might be necessary. So hopefully you'll find this very helpful. And of course, any questions, feel free to reach out to our support team.